you like didn't realize that the food in grocery stores isn't food because this was a new thing. And my parents didn't realize that either. Like, it was just like, hey, this is food. Like, you know, my mom's like working constantly and like she's an incredible person, but it was like, okay, so like here's a hot pocket or here's something.
Either, you know, so there was never that knowledge or foundation.
In fact, it goes in a little deeper than that. It's not that we weren't taught. We honestly, the information was kind of withheld from us what that food
we
was.
were actually taught to think that was food.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what people don't realize is as long as you stay on the outsides of the market, you'll be okay.
They're still
right? I mean, the fresh produce is
true.
you'll be okay.
Don't go
It's the
inside.
inside. It's the center with all the synthetic foods.
They're still
so
telling people that Cheerios are better than like meat.
Fruit
and
Loops.
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops are above meat.
meats
and dairy.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
It's really bad.
Anything with an ingredient list, it's like don't
Stay away.
You know, like you don't need a list. Like it is just it just is what it is. You know?
Well, also they get away with what's our biggest pet peeve that no artificial colors or flavors, right? So sure, you don't see the clearly cancer-causing things like yellow number 5 and red 5. But then they hide it under what's called natural flavor.
I know.
Which
and
is
so
when you do
mysterious.
when you research
Yeah.
it. When you research it,
It's right there. I mean, it's
there are
available.
these chemical compounds deriven from a natural compound, but they've been turned into something that's incredibly bad for you, and they very consciously put it under natural because your brain goes, oh, it should be okay.
And they write on the box,
it's preservatives. It's all the bad stuff. No, it is
and it is preservatives.
It's so sketchy, and like I feel like it's one of those things where I never want to go on this like big tangent, like oh my gosh, you know, because everyone tunes out. They're like, okay, like here's this like girl like talking about fluoride in the water and like freaking out. You know? I know. But I feel like just to like bring it back to like a super base level, I think a lot of us grew up with like fake foods and then realized, hey, all you have to do is like stop eating the Hot Pockets and the toaster strudel or whatever and just like eat regular food.
I know.
Totally.
And then for me, it was like, I grew up in like a small town raised by a single mother. And I was like, okay, like time to just like eat a vegetable. And then I went to the grocery store and it was so expensive. I couldn't afford it. And I happened to be checking out at the time and, checking out at the grocery store. And I saw that they had packets of seeds and it was $3. It was $3 and you could grow 50. It was a 50 seed packet. 50 tomatoes. I was like, 50 tomatoes where I can pay like,
smart.
Give someone a fish.
$40 for 50.
Exactly.
Give someone a fish, feed them for a day, teach them to fish, feed them for a lifetime. So.
It's such a funny, I love that expression. It's
crazy
so funny.
You're like, that's yeah, that makes sense.
I know, it's so true.
The seeds,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, so then I went home and I was like, okay, I'm gonna grow this stuff. And then I realized, like this is why tomatoes are so expensive because it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time to actually grow them.
Kind of wanted the tomatoes this week, but Miss Dirt's not.
I'll try
I
3
know,
months.
yeah.
Here's
you
one.
Start like,
I got it. There it is.
Is that a pomegranate or
What's
tomato?
That? It's like a raisin, but it actually is a tomato. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so then I just went down that rabbit hole of like, how do I grow better produce? Like, how do I get better at this? And, I went to agriculture school. I went to a few different classes. Everything that I could afford at the time, I just like immersed myself in that area. And then I also started volunteering on different farms. Cool. And so then I worked towards feeling like I can kind of tell other people how to grow food. And
it's really cool.
That's when I moved to LA. And then luckily I got this show where I got to just go around the U.S. and teach people how to grow their own food.
So rad.
Awesome.
I know.
So cool.
It's super cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah, I
It's
love
really
it.
fun.
It's so important. Look, we are what we eat. I mean, that is the oldest expression, but it really is true. I mean, we truly are what we eat. And all these things that we keep coming across, and all these things keep rising, like diabetes, obesity, cancers, heart problems, all these things. And if you just go back to the way we're eating, you could see as we introduce these processed quick foods, all these things started to increase. It's so obvious.
They're saying that colon cancer is one of the fastest rising cancers, and now they just lowered the screening age from 50 to 45. But they're saying for some reason all these people in their 20s and 30s now are getting colon cancer, and it's like, how's that possible? And it's probably because of the insane amount of processed foods, chemicals that are in our foods. And it's crazy too because even for snack foods, 'cause I'm a big snack food guy. Everybody loves snack foods, right? But I feel like
snacker.
But I feel like
massive.
But I feel like it is so hard to find clean snacks, right? There is literally, and I'll give them a shout out now. There is one potato chip that is from Trader Joe's. That is literally made because canola oil is not.
I know
not
all of
good.
the like weird seed
soybean
oils.
oil.
Yeah,
It's all garbage.
Yeah,
they say
they're
healthy,
so sketchy.
just nothing, no artificial anything. But the soybean and the cottonseed oil, those are crap, horrible for your body.
Mysterious, yeah.
So there is one potato chip that has sea salt and olive oil and potatoes, and that's it. They're made with olive oil. That's it. Nothing else in it. And I wish, I thought to myself, and I know it's more expensive, but olive oil at least is a real oil.
Right.
So what? It doesn't make any. They have an olive oil popcorn. And they have an
yeah,
olive oil
I've
potato
tried
chip.
that. That's
and it's
nice.
very good. And you at least feel like, okay, this is not like the best thing for me, but at least it's just olive oil and sea salt and some potatoes.
To bring it back to the ingredient list, I feel like that's always a red flag.
Yeah, when there's
I just like simple shit. I like
exactly,
simple
just
foods,
like basic
stuff. I just
Why are
good
there not
basil,
4 things in this?
some
Why are there
measure- I don't
45
need
things?
Yeah, I don't need maybe a sprinkle of salt, a dash of pepper, and I'm good. I don't need 50 million different things.
Just the guar gums and the xanthan
I know.
gums.
I know.
I know.
What are
All
these
the
things?
gums.
There's
These
a lot
are
of
serious
gums.
gums.
I don't know.
I know. Remember that gum that was like the zebra gum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
That was
my gosh.
so good.
Oh my gosh.
I know the fruit stripe gum.
So wait,
that was
that fruit
so
stripe
good. That has
gum.
nothing to do with
No, it does,
anything.
but that was
but
really good. Was that Toys R Us gum, or was it they just sold it?
Sold it at
I
Toys
think
R Us.
Did they?
Like a
You always it had a giraffe on it.
Yes, it
So it was
did.
like Jeffrey the giraffe.
No, it had
guy.
a zebra
It was
on
a
it.
zebra, but I thought it was a giraffe. See, he was okay. I see what you're
Maybe
saying.
that's what it was, but
That's
no,
probably
they had it. It was the wide pack.
The stripes.
They had
I didn't
purple,
realize-
orange.
I remember it well.
was zebra gum. It was,
Yeah.
By far the best.
Each piece,
And then
Yeah.
they
it
had
didn't
a.
last very long, which is why you had to eat the entire
It's
pack
true.
in 12
Exactly.
minutes.
Then they had another flavor that was like a lighter pastel. I don't know if you remember that. They had,
You were such
I
a
was into this
connoisseur
gum.
of
Yeah,
this.
I was into this gum.
You're like, I don't like
Yeah, it was a
tomatoes, but I
tropical-
love,
this-
but I
yeah.
know every gum that was
It was
ever
a tropical
released.
fruit variant.
Boom.
It was a
Tropical fruit variant.
They had like the primary colors: red, green,
Yes.
right, yellow, purple, and then
Yeah.
the tropical one was pastelli.
It was delicious.
So good.
It reminds me of this PodCo logo.
I love that. I love that. It's such a like classic '90s
Yeah,
color
it is.
scheme.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah, right?
Little throwback.
right?
It was
I
our
love
idea.
it.
Actually, no, it wasn't. But
It was the whole idea for PodCo was our idea.
No,
It wasn't.
But-
We just decided to partner up with him.
But to bring it back home, I feel like if you love like the Trader Joe's potato chips that only have a few ingredients, then that's like the first step to just showing up at the farmer's market and supporting your
Yes.
Heck yes.
local farmers.
Yes.
I try to go
Because,
every
like,
Sunday.
Yeah. To which one? Which one do you go to?
Sherman Oaks,
It's a good one.
by my house.
I exactly like if everybody just goes and supports their local
True.
farmers.
Yes.
You know, in
Good point.
like physically, financially, monetarily,
Absolutely.
emotionally.
Yeah.
And that's so much of what the show is about. Is just like
Great.
is like farmers are the backbone of America, and everyone loves saying
Absolutely.
that. We're like, without like
What do we do
farmers,
without
there's
I know.
nothing. But then it's like, what's going on with these farmers? There's a lot of young farmers out there. There's a lot of different types of farmers who are struggling to make it. And so just like being able to provide that kind of support, being able to go and say like, here's what I've learned in my years
It's
of
so
growing
important.
food, and here's how your farm can improve.
That's awesome. And I got to say this. I mean, not only are they the backbone, but we need to look to farmers right now. They are fighting a major war
they are.
right now.
They are.
And that
To
is
me,
the
I was just
war.
gonna say-
I mean,
I
look
was
what
just gonna-
happened. Was it Netherlands or Sweden?
Yeah, Netherlands.
Netherlands?
I think so.
And they won. Did you
They
hear
won.
the farmers?
No,
the
I haven't
farmers
heard of
overthrew
this.
the government.
Wow.
They took over the government because they were on the forefront of industrialized governmental food for everyone.
Here's the deal.
That's where it's going, you know. I mean,
I always
that's why
say-
Bill Gates
Yeah,
and China
I was
own
gonna-
all of our farmland.
I was gonna say, you know, with as much money as Bill has sunk into lab chicken,
Yes.
why don't you put it into actually preserving farmland and continuing to grow good quality chickens that we can actually
and
consume?
into missions like
Totally, it's so
chicken.
true.
Yeah,
into
yeah,
missions
true.
like yours, which is rehabilitating the
Yes.
relationship
Yes.
between all of us and our local
local
farmers.
farmers.
Yes.
Right.
Because what that does is it kills so many issues with just one stone, in the sense that now you're cutting down all the shipping costs. So there
Yes.
goes your greenhouse gases.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You now have farms that don't have to do the same soil turnovers that these massives do,
Yes.
or have to use the pesticides
And well,
that
the
these
quality.
massives do.
The quality is.
So
I mean,
it
it's-
changes everything.
Not to mention how often do you get your organic blackberries, and I try to buy organic, whenever I can. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but everyone's got to pick and choose.
Sidebar,
right.
He loves blackberries. I've never seen a human being.
I eat them every single morning.
A berry.
A lot of antioxidants.
A lot of
antioxidants. I try to.
A lot of antioxidants.
Just those bare necessities of Mother Nature's recipe. Forget about your worries and your strife.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this clip of the Brotherly Love Podcast.
For full episodes, go to the Brotherly Love Pod's YouTube channel, link in the description.
And for exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon right now.
That's right, there's a link in the description for that too. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thanks.